Welcome back, my friends. Today we're going to talk about this classic pop tune, Stop That Train by John Mayer, of course. And we're going to approach it by taking a look at some of the things John Mayer did in the actual recording, and then possibly modifying here or there, and try to make it a little more accessible to some of the singer-songwriter giggers out there. So let's take a look at the basic riff, and I'll show you a tab on the screen, and we'll approach it very slowly by I like to use the second and the fourth finger actually, and we're playing a piece of a D chord here, okay? We're going to be playing only the top four strings, and we're going to be playing the thumb as a bass, okay? And then using the second and third finger as our picking fingers, and we're going to just be going back and forth, okay? And we're going to be playing a simple little Travis type pick, okay? And then we're going to just slide this up to the 6th fret, and then we're going to play a little seesaw here with the 4th and the 1st finger, first on the 7th fret and then on the 5th fret, and then we're going to come back down to the 4 and the 5 with again the 2 and the 4. I just like to use the 2 and the 4 because it allows me to keep that 2 as my pivotal finger as I go from 2-4 up to the 6-7 to the 6-5 and then the 4-5, okay? And that is a 4-measure riff that you want to get down, because that just comes back constantly in this tune. The nice thing about it is there's only 4 strings involved, okay? And of course, you can kind of vary how you do the fingering, but the basic idea of it is you want it to be a very steady, almost train-like pattern. Okay, now once you get this down, now we can start going into the tune. So of course this is the introduction, and we're going to be playing that a couple of times before we get into the actual singing, right? So we play that probably twice will be good. And now from here, from the 4 and the 5 with that 2nd and 4th finger, all we have to do now is drop down the 1st finger on the G, on the 6th string. And that gives us a nice bass, and we can get right into the actual singing. You'll see that John Mayer, if you look at some of his live performances, he's using a lot of thumb. Honestly, I probably have used the thumb once or twice in my entire career of playing the guitar. If you like to use the thumb, and if you can do it, by all means, that's fine. But I find that I can pretty much do everything I need to do with my 4 fingers. And the other part of that, of course, is I don't have that kind of dexterity. So, and you'll see all through this piece where I'm simplifying certain things where I no longer have that dexterity I used to have in my early 20s, if I ever had it then. So we're going to play this riff, and we're going to go 2 times on the riff, and then we're going to go to the G. No, I'm not colorblind. I know the world is black and white. And now back into the riff, okay? Now what did we do there? We're playing the G with that same 4 and 5 that we ended the riff with. Okay, we're still keeping the fingers wide open, so we've got a double on the E, and we're basically playing like a G6 here. Now you can just play this chord and do that singing. No, I'm not colorblind. I know the world is black and white, and then go back into the riff, okay? Or you can play some melody notes if you can make the stretch from the G up to the 7 to the 5. So you've got your choice here. You can go, if you've got the stretch, you can go, no, I'm not colorblind. I know the world is black and white, and we're back to the riff, okay? Or if you can't make that stretch, you can just keep it on that G6 and just strum there. No, I'm not colorblind. I know the world is black and white. Okay, so you've got a choice there. Now the next line is the same exact process, okay? So we're going to go again. Try to keep an open mind, but I just can't sleep on this tonight. Okay, and then we're playing the riff again. Notice that the riff comes in after each of those G chords. So now we're going to go into the chorus, and the basic form for the chorus is going to be the G with the B flat in the open. Stop this train, I want to get off and go home again. And again, with our old friend, the D, the open D with the open E and the F sharp bass on it, okay? Home again, I can't take the speed, it's moving in E7, I know I can't. And then we go to this little A7 routine here. There's two ways we could play this. We could go up to the 7th fret, okay, so we've got 7-5, 6-5, 5-5, 4-5, and then back to the 2-3 for the riff that we started out with, okay? The other way we can do this is by playing an A7 sus, bring the sus down to an A7, A minor, and then an A with an add 2, okay? And then we're back to the riff. Okay, and so that's the chorus. So here's the chorus with just the chord forms, okay? So we've got, stop this train, I want to get off and go home again. I can't take the speed, it's moving in. I know I can't, but honestly, won't someone stop this train? And now what we can do is play the chord forms with the melody notes underneath to make it a little more complex. So we've got the G minor major there that we were playing, right? The dissonance. And we've got our first and fourth fingers free to play some melody notes. And basically we're just going to be playing open, 2, 3, 2, open, 2, open. And when I play the D with the F sharp bass, I'm going to be playing the same melody notes, but I'm going to basically take my fingers off the chord to play those melody notes. And then the E7 with the 2 open, and then we're into the A7 routine again. So we've got something like this. Stop this train, I want to get off and go home again. I can't take the speed, it's moving in. I know I can't, but honestly, won't someone stop this train? And we're back again, okay? Now, the next verse is exactly the same guitar work, so I'm not going to bore you with that. So now in the third verse, things change just slightly as we get into the verse. So let's take a look at how we'll play this. Okay, so we've got, again, with the G, so scared of getting older, I'm only good at being young. Again with the riff, and so I play the numbers game, find a way to say my life has just begun. Okay, and now we're getting into a little bit of a change here. Had a talk with my old man, said he'd help me understand. Okay, that's a G minor 6 there. So we've got the G, the B flat with the D underneath. Okay, 2 fingers and the open E. Said he'd help me understand. Now we're going to the D, the piece of a D chord, right, with the open E on the bottom and the F sharp. He said, turn 68, you'll renegotiate. That's the E7, okay? And then we're back into the chorus again. And now we get into the bridge, and I'm just going to play the bridge with open tenths. So we're on the G, and I'm going to play down here on the 3rd string. Okay, and that gives me the G with the B above it. So we're going to go once in a while, and it's good, and it feels like it. Okay, so we're going G to an A, to B minor, if you will, but still with tenths, right? And then a C sharp minor on the 9th fret, and these are both in the 9th fret, 7th fret, 5 and 6, 3 and 4, right? So again, we're going to just repeat that. So we're going to go once in a while, when it's good, and I'm just playing all the strings, right? The open notes, which is John Mayer classic, right? Open notes fitting into these chords. making intricate chords out of simple fingerings. In this case anyways. Sometimes they're not so simple fingerings. But anyways, we got once in a while, when it's good, it'll feel like it should. And they're all still around, and you're still safe and now we're going to just go back to the B minor 7 sound, and you don't miss a thing till you cry when you're... And I just like to go back and forth here. If you listen to the recordings, there's lots of background vocals going on, lots of things happening here, but you can make this emotional. And I'm just going to go back and forth here, which may or may not be exactly what happens, but it works. So I'm going to go sound, you don't miss a thing till you cry when you're... And now the big finish, D, 10 and 11. Let me get that finger out of there. Again, we're just playing tenths. Driving C sharp away in the dark. Okay, so it's going to be driving away in the dark. And then a pause, dark. Stop this train. I want to get off and go home again. I can't take the speed it's moving in. I know I can't, but honestly, won't someone stop this train? And then we just keep playing this until the crowd erupts and they all get out of their seats and go home. And that's the whole tune. So most of that is what John Mayer's doing. We can adapt. If we don't want to play all those melody notes, we can just play chord forms, and it actually makes the tune very accessible. So I hope that helps you out, my friends. Now we'll just run through it quick and see if this makes any sense to you. So scared of getting older, I'm only good at being young. So I play the numbers game, find a way to say my life has just begun. Had to talk with my old man, said he made me understand. He said turn 68, you'll renegotiate. Don't stop this train. Don't for a minute change the place you're in. Don't think I couldn't ever understand. I tried my hand, but honestly, we'll never stop this train. Once in a while, when it's good and it feel like it should, and they're all still around and you're still safe and sound, and you don't miss a thing till you cry when you're driving away in the dark. Don't stop this train, not for a minute change the place you're in. Don't think I couldn't ever understand. I tried my hand, but honestly, we'll never stop this train. And so, my friends, more or less, that's the idea we're looking for. This is a great tune. Work it up, add it to your list, and people will really love it. I hope that helps you out. Until next time, my friends, don't forget to subscribe to the station, and I will see you again soon. Don't forget to keep playing that guitar.